One of my favorite big ballers is Cristiano Ronaldo. I watch a lot of his soccer games, but more interesting than the soccer games is the interviews and just hearing about his mentality, how he approaches the game, and more importantly than being on top, he has been on top, whether you think him or Messi or whoever. He's been close to the pinnacle of what it means to be the GOAT as a soccer player for years on end. He's been in contention with being at the top, in fact, for over 15 years. That is more impressive to me than just getting to the top. Getting to the top requires a tremendous amount of work, but staying at the top is something that requires a little bit more from you. And something that he talks about in his interviews and something he's concerned with his son about is sustained fire and sustained work ethic and motivation. Because as you become more successful over time, those things can wane. Those things can decrease. And his biggest concern for his son is that his son grew up with a ton of money, with a rich family, going on vacations, crazy cars. And Cristiano, as many of us know, grew up dirt poor. In fact, after his soccer games, he had to go into the streets to sweep the streets and do extra work just to feed his family because his dad was an alcoholic and really couldn't contribute to the family himself. So why do I say all these things? Where am I trying to even go with this video topic? What I'm trying to bring up is when you look at people who are excellent, who have achieved excellence and who have sustained excellence over a long period of time, they have had, you just can't get around it, whether they have a ton of talent or not, they have sustained habits that they do over time that lead them to win. In fact, in one of these interviews I was watching with Cristiano, he leads the interviewer into an interesting point. And he goes something like, I can give you the keys to have a successful life, but you're just going to want the outcome. You're not going to want the process that is involved in reaching the outcome. Because truly, the things that you have to do to become successful are boring and they're not glamorous. And when you see him on TV, when you see him winning matches, when you see him rolling around in his Bugatti, when you see him rolling around in his Rolls Royce, you see this small snapshot of the payment of all the sacrifice and time he's had to put into his craft. Over years, 15 years, 20 years. We're talking 15 years as him being at the top. We're not talking about him starting to play soccer when he was a little kid. He's been playing soccer for over 30 years, and he's 39, about to be 40. So, pretty incredible. So really what leads you to have success is the habits that you have, and what I mean by that is the consistency of doing things over and over a long period of time when no one's watching, and getting used to being in the state where things might appear to be boring to you, and falling in love with the process and what is going to keep you going when this is boring, right? Which the process is going to be boring if you want to become successful. Well, I'll tell you, it's noticing those small incremental changes over time. Whether you're in the gym and you might gain a pound after training over years in 1 year. Let's say you train for 10 years and you only gain a pound of muscle a year. You might think that's a small amount. That might sound like a small amount. But if you do that for 10 years and then over those 10 years you add 10 additional pounds of muscle, your physique is going to be completely different. You have to become okay with seeing smaller amounts of incremental improvement over time. Because what really separates, again, going back to the Cristiano Ronaldo interview, he says, I practice with all my teammates. I have time with my family. I have time with my friends. But it's that little 30 to 40 minutes that I do in the evening that I know other players aren't doing that over the years makes all the difference. Because he says talent without hard work is just not enough anymore. Because there's so many talented people out there that are working hard. And there are so many people with talent out there that you have to then bring a new level of work, even if you're already starting with talent. Good news, if you have talent, that means you can go to great lengths. You can if you don't have talent. But Hard work that works hard beats talent that doesn't work hard, right? We've all heard that saying. I love Kobe Bryant's mentality as well on this. You know, he was so scientific about waking up at certain times to work on his craft. Even waking up a couple hours earlier, that allowed him to get in 1 extra practice per day. Let's say 5 to 7 extra practices a week. Dozens of practices over a month. Or over the months, rather. Dozens of practices over the years. Hundreds of practices over multiple years. And that, over the long haul, is what made all the difference. So in order for you to be a baller, like some of your baller celebrities and idols that you look up to, you need to do the little things that seem inconsequential today, sustained over a period of years, and that is going to separate you from the competition. The biggest competition you should have should be yourself. Okay. Hope this video provided you some value and spoke to you. If it did, please like this video and share it with someone who you think would get value from it. Comment future video topics in the comment section below. And I'd be humbled if you subscribe to my channel. Thanks. We'll talk soon. Bye for now.